Hey girls, sorry to cut you off. Hello, everybody in the chat. Wow, all I can say is this has been an incredibly crazy, busy last couple of days for us. So uh, we appreciate. Oh, that's me. That's me doing the echo thing. We've just been just crazy doing stuff, and all pretty much related to Daniel. No excuse. I know that, when you're expecting to, see a show or, whatever we are, a podcast or something at a specific certain time, then you expect to see it. And when it's not there, when you've been told it'll be there, it's frustrating. So I apologize for that, for all of us. Um,
Hey, it's your fault. Don't apologize for us.
hey, you're right. You're right. It is my fault. That is absolutely true.
Oh my gosh, that was like the least team player thing I've done today. All right.
Oh, you're so. You are funny. You are funny. Kay's funny. Does everybody agree? Kay is hysterical. I am over here laughing my ass off. She's so funny. No, but seriously. So anyway, I apologize that I have us late. First of all, I just didn't pay attention to what the scheduler said in StreamYard when I scheduled it today, and then I was like, oh, good. I need time to finish my whatever it is I was doing anyway. And then I was late even for the 5:30 thing. So I apologize. So, however, I'm going to really quickly, before we get started, I'm going to let Sherri and Kay talk about this, but I do want to share with you guys um, the website for Richard. I am thrilled about this. I think this is amazing. Paul and Richard's family, Aunt Sherri and Greg, did a live yesterday afternoon and introduced us to this website, the Richard McAdam Advocacy Foundation. I'm going to let Kay and Sherri. Kay, did you want to share the screen so you can operate it and go through it if you'd like, or whatever?
No, just click on the scholarship. I don't have it
okay.
pulled up. Just click on the scholarship link at the top from what you had.
Okay, we'll.
I don't actually need that to talk about it, but so
no, it's true, but yeah.
they're taking applications for scholarships for people who want to do what Richard did with YouTube videos and such. So you apply, and it's like they just ask you about yourself and kind of why you think what you're going to do with the equipment, and like why you think you're deserving of it. And then they're going to, I don't know how it's going to be determined, maybe based on, because they're also selling ball caps and pullover logoed shirts to raise money for this foundation. So I'm not exactly sure how much they're gonna be given out, like quarterly or whatever. But you get, if they choose you, you get a webcam, a really nice microphone, and a green screen. And then I'm not exactly sure if you also get these mentoring services as well, but I thought those were super cool. Voice projection, interviewing techniques, music and image inputs, research skills, personal presentation, language use, and how not to make fun of your host all the time. I need that. That's it. That's it. I'm done.
Are you saying that you're making fun of me all the time and I don't even realize it?
No, I'm doing it right to your face.
It's true. She does do it to my face. Oh, and that's okay. That's
I
because,
don't do that. I don't
that's
play
the
that
kind of,
behind your back
that's
game.
the, that I know. That's the kind of love we have. We have no problem, you know, uh, being real. We're just real. We're just real people. So, thanks for explaining that for me, for us, for everybody. It's pretty exciting. I'm pretty honored to even have known Richard. So I wanted to make sure that we gave him the time that, was.
Uh-oh. She
We lost our leader.
do 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 do.
This is
You
not
made
been a
it
really,
back in time.
I did. Sorry, this hasn't been a really good couple of few days. I really apologize, everyone. Thank you so much for your patience. So, you know what? Screw anything else that I might have thought I was going to say. I'm going to go ahead and have, I guess I should say, we're going to start talking about Sherri Ellis tonight. As far as the way that the detectives approached the alleged accusers. It's so hard to talk, really. It's really hard to say things and be decent. But so that's the way it kind of goes, is with Sherri Ellis would be the next one that's interviewed and spoken to, about the alleged accusations or the alleged assaults, by the officer. So Sherri and Kay are going to continue with this timeline of slides that they've been building. And I am just going to let them go ahead and take it away. Let me know if you need something, girls.
We just need the slides.
I thought you were presenting the slides.
Oh, are you
God,
serious?
she said she was doing the slides. Am I controlling the slides then?
Thought you meant reading.
Okay. Here I go. See, we're doing like, you know what? It's freaking Groundhog Day. Jesus, that's the problem.
Is that what it is?
That is the damn problem. I'm going to do, God, we'll do
Always
this over
looking
tomorrow.
Always looking for someone to blame it on. A
Yeah,
groundhog will do.
Groundhog will do. Oh my God. Which slide were we starting on, ladies? You guys, I'm so sorry. This is really
56.
embarrassing.
56.
Okay. 56. So we're going to 56 because we're just going to build on the timeline that's already been started. So there's not really like necessarily a title page or anything.
Oh, I did that while you weren't paying attention. It's 56.
Oh, 56 is the title page. Well, okay. Okay, so did you want to? Okay, there you go. You got that, Sherri? Or okay, Sherri? Can you guys see it? No, you can't because I'm not sharing the damn screen. Oh my God. Here we go. There you go. That's slide 54.
All right.
Is that
56.
okay?
56.
You said 56 and you meant 56. There you go. It's all you.
57.
Oh my God, this is unreal. Am I looking at the right slide, you guys?
Yeah, you
This
are.
says slide 56 right here.
Terry Morris 3 was the title of it.
Well, yeah, but I just skipped ahead right to 56.
Keep going, you'll see a Terry Morris slide. There you go. All right, next. Okay, so we're starting here at, we've just ended with Terry Morris's jailhouse interview where they got her to change her whole story. That would have been a week ago, July 10th. And now, just before we get rolling in the news, all over the news. I'm sure you guys remember this one. This one got quite a bit of press. I was aware of it at the time. July 17th, Eric Garner, 43 years old. The police allege they saw him selling illegal untaxed cigarettes. Witnesses at the scene said he was stopped because he broke up a fight. Not sure. After an argument, Daniel Pantaleo placed him in a chokehold. He died of neck compression from the chokehold, along with the compression of his chest and prone positioning during physical restraint by police. As you can see in the picture, the 3 officers are okay, I guess, but they're not even looking to see that the dude up front has him in a chokehold. Interesting. Next slide. Next slide, please.
It's not advancing. Oh, God. Okay.
Okay, so I say question mark on this because help me try to figure out. This is the police report, guys. This is the initial Kim Davis's first police report that she writes. And I'm trying to figure out his first, well, in the second paragraph there, I checked crime information sheets and found he doesn't give a date. He starts this report, body of report, no date. Detective Gregory checked Varuna records in an attempt to find other possible victims of Holtzclaw. Gregory found that Holtzclaw ran Sherri through Varuna on 5/7 twice and 5/8 twice. I checked crime information sheets and found Holtzclaw ran Sherri through the crime information unit on 5/7, sometime after that. What would that be? That'd be midnight, 11 after midnight. She had 3 city warrants. He also ran her on 5/7 during his two shift hours, which he explains checking people after he's already had contact with them, or if he's familiar with someone, he would check someone. He would check their record because there are notes within the file that you can study to learn about someone, so that when he did a whole lot of trying to stomp out drug crime in that area. So, he was constantly trying to build a record to help, and using notes that other officers had put into the system as well. So I only heard today one radio traffic for 5/7. So she had 3 city warrants. He also ran her on 5/7 during during a 2-hour period of time, I think is what Kim's trying to say. The crime information sheets do not document the times when a person is checked. CIU documented info from last night in the disposition column. On 7/24, Detective Homan and I began looking for Sherri Ellis. Detective Gregory wanted her contacted in reference to this case. Detective Gregory was scheduled for a 2-week vacation, so he gave me Sherri's information to see if I could contact her. So look at the top of the report and try to figure out what the date would be that he starts building this report. He's saying that the report date is 8/5. but in the
Sherri Ellis, right?
right, for Sherri Ellis. The occurrence date 5/7 and 5/8, but it's interesting in their reports how they don't have to keep track of date and time. Their reports evolve over time. They explain that they keep them in their Rocky explains that he keeps his he types, I think at trial he said he typed his in like a Word document and then he would copy and paste it.
Right.
So over time they can go in and edit what they've written and add new facts. And you never know when the information that they add into the report or take out, you never know when that happened. So that's frustrating. All right.
Well, it happens on a whim. Whenever they need it to happen is when it happens.
But when you're trying to recreate the case, it's not possible to do.
They may when you're trying to prove factual lies and errors and whatnot, it's impossible to follow. You're right. Okay. Next slide.
Mm-hmm. Detectives Davis and Homan began looking for Sherri Ellis because Gregory wanted her located in reference to the case. I guess Sherri and I both did a slide for this, or did I do this? Okay. Davis stated Sherri had a listed address of 1500 Northeast 19th Street and left a card on the door. So Davis and Homan go to her listed address, should they say, and they left a card. Then they went to her, Davis says, last address listed in Varuna. Now, why wouldn't you go there first? And what do you mean had a listed address of that, but her last address was this? She's just a Dumbo. So they go to that, and the landlord's in the yard confirms that, yes, she does live there with her boyfriend. And he says that he will give them, Ellis and Mac, the card and have them call her. You can advance, Rhonda. July 28th, 2014. Kim Davis called several numbers in Varuna looking for Terry Mack. She got a hold of Terry Mack, or she left a message on one of those numbers, and Terry Mack Jr. returned her call, and he said that it's my father that you're looking for, and he told Davis that he does know Ellis but hasn't seen her in a long time since she's no longer dating his father. He said his dad no longer lives at 16th Terrace. He didn't want to give his dad's contact information, and he asked him not to contact him because he had had a stroke and he was in poor health. The son was worried that they were going to stress him out. He said he would call if he learned the whereabouts of Ellis. Next.
Side note on this, this is just one example of them giving personal, private, HIPAA type kind of sort of, not really information to people other than the person they're trying to contact, which is not okay.
Exactly. So this report encompasses July 29th and July 31st. This states that Kimberlin, whoever that is, Lieutenant Kimberlin, I'm not familiar, sent me a possible address for Sherri Ellis, 1401 Northeast 37th. This is the excerpt from the police report right here. Next, it says there were several phone numbers on the printout. And on 7/31/14, Homan and I went to the following addresses. So that address is in there, Northeast 37th. I just wonder, out of all where they got these other addresses, was this a list that was given to them with the phone numbers? Or, you know, it's interesting that they pulled that one address out at the top and said that he gave this one address, but they went to all the others too. Next.
Yeah, they're interesting.
On August 1st, Davis she's frustrated. She can't find Ellis, so she sends a message on Facebook. This is Davis's police report. I sent Sherri a message on Facebook. I also used her Facebook page to find some associates. I found she's related to Vernon Starr. I contacted him at work. He said he talks to Sherri every day. I explained to him that I needed her to contact me and gave him my number. He said he would give her the message. Sherri called me back. I recorded the phone conversation. She has to write that in there because she so seldom does that. She's so proud of herself. I told Sherri I had received a tip that she might have been sexually assaulted by a police officer. She said she had and started to go into what happened. Okay, now, most of you know how that phone call starts out. It starts out with Kim Davis, telling her, you sound frantic in your message. So obviously Kim has left her a message, and she's called and left Kim a message, and now Kim is returning her phone call. And she says, I just have to ask you something. I got a tip that you were sexually assaulted by an Oklahoma City by a police officer. And she said, yes, I was. And it was a black man. Okay, so that's what she told her right off the bat. Here's her police report. She gave me the following information. About 3 months ago, she was walking near Northeast 16th and Highland. An officer stopped her on Highland, put her in the back seat of the police car. He checked her. So he puts her in the car and then gets her out and checks her. Okay, he checked her and warrants. He checked her and she had warrants. So she's the one who goes into this back and forth with the office, with Kim Davis telling her that he says, what are we going to do about this? And the officer was standing over her while she was sitting in the scout car. She looked up and his penis was in her face. He put it in her mouth for a little bit. He got back into the car and drove her to the park located at Northeast 16th and Miramar. He made her get out of the car and pulled her pants down. He made her bend over and he sexually assaulted her. When he was done, she walked away. She went home and immediately told her husband. So she says she immediately tells her common law husband, Terry Mack. And then they scheduled the interview for her to come into the police station and visit about these allegations. So that's October 1st, 2014. And in the news, I remember hearing about this, but I think it was much after the fact. This guy was fatally shot while carrying a pellet gun in a Walmart. The gun was unsold merchandise and out of its package. So there's a video if you guys want to watch it, um, if you're interested to see it.
Can it play here?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I can play it.
Let's see if I can make this work.
I think you just have to push play again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Watch on YouTube is how I watched it. There. Yeah, do that.
Oh.
No, never mind.
Yeah, I mean, I can screen share it. It's only a couple minutes long.
Yeah.
Let me just screen share it really quick.
Oh, it's okay. I don't. Whatever you want to do.
I don't know what you.
Interesting because he's walking around Walmart like kind of manic. I can't tell if he's dancing with the gun or whatever, but at the time that he gets shot, he shouldn't be getting shot.
Here we go.
The gun was unpackaged in the store. So he picks it up. It's not in a box. He didn't take it out of a box. This is weird. I don't know what he's doing.
I used to do asset protection for Walmart just before I quit.
Here come the cops right now. Oh, wait. Is that right? You'll see the cops come in on the left, and then it all happens pretty fast. What's he doing? It's like he's practicing some soldier drill or something.
That's what it looks like.
Look at this family comes in, and they're like, get the hell out.
Here comes law enforcement.
Here they come.
What?
Oh, he came.
One shot to the store. Police officer here. They're on the scene.
All right. The guy just walks out. Like it ain't no thing.
What a trip, man. I mean, his gun's not even with him and they're shooting him. I don't.
Well.
What the hell? I'm
Yeah.
sorry. We have to learn to. We have to train our officers to not. I mean, someone reported that he was pointing the gun at people, whoever called 911, and then later, like a month later, I think it said, he says that, well, actually, he wasn't pointing the gun at people. So I guess that guy has to live with that.
Oh, yeah, that's rough. I hadn't heard of that.
So, yeah, got all these going on just in rapid fire while Daniel's case is going on. So is the video still uploading?
It's not ready. Sorry, guys.
That's all right. August 5th, Sherri believes the rape occurred about 3 or 4 months ago, around April or May, she tells Davis. Just prior to midnight, Ellis walks out of her house on 2200 block of Northeast 16th Terrace, where she lived with her boyfriend of about 19 years. She's headed for her female cousin Dion's house, which is about 4 blocks away. I think she was really going over to her boyfriend's mom's house.
Yeah.
Because she was having an affair at the time. And she ends up being really close to,
Yeah.
I can't remember her current husband's name.
Edwin Smith.
Yeah, she ends up, I think she was going to and from Edwin Smith's mom's house that night for real.
Yeah.
Story. You want to advance? She says she walks westbound on Northeast 16th to the first intersection and then heads northbound on North Highland Drive. She continues walking in the dark past 16th Street and then 17th Street. As she's walking on North Highland Drive, a vehicle is coming up behind her. She turns, she sees the approaching headlights and sees it's a police car that's slowing down. She describes the patrol car as the black and white older model that most officers drove at the time. The car stops, the officer gets out. She remembers that she was stopped while walking next to a crepe myrtle tree that's on Highland Drive between 17th and 18th Street. Rhonda tried to zoom in on that location looking for a crepe myrtle tree. There isn't one, so I just told her that they probably took it out so people would stop driving by and taking a picture
of the crepe myrtle tree, the famous. I actually just not to butt in, but I did spend a little more time with that the other night and found that according to Brian Bates at HoltzclawTrial.com, his photo shows the exact same thing that we can see that's even current now. So when I show that, I'll show you, because according to Bates, that's where it is the one that we were looking at, that big house with that one lone tree, even though it doesn't look like one from Google Earth. But yeah, anyway.
Hey,
I'll show it.
Sherri, you wanna take over?
We can take turns if you, or are you need a good break?
No, that's fine. If you want to take turns every other slide, go ahead.
She describes him as shorter than her. She is 5'11" and black with skin darker than her own. He asks her to walk to the back of his patrol car. He then asks for her name, if she has any ID, and if she has anything illegal in her purse. Ellis says no. When he searches her, she states that his hand touches her breasts, buttocks, and vagina over her clothing.
He opens the back door of the patrol car and directs her to take a seat. He sits in the driver's seat and calls her in to see if she had any warrants. Okay, so you guys got that? He puts her in the car immediately and then he calls to see if she has any warrants. She can see that her prior prostitution charge was pulled up on the officer's patrol car computer screen. Within a few minutes, the dispatcher tells him she has 3 outstanding city warrants.
She says that he then gets out, walks back to her, and opens the door and asks, "What do you think we need to do about this?" She does not understand and asks if she is going to jail. She then says that suddenly his penis is out through the fly of his pants and in her face. He tells her to put his penis in her mouth, and because she is afraid, she does as he asks for about 3 or 4 minutes.
Hey, who has the feedback or does someone have a little kid in the background?
Nope, I'm silent.
Okay. He suddenly stops, removes his penis from her mouth, tells her to turn and put her feet back into the car and shuts the door. He gets back into the driver's seat and begins to drive away. He takes the first right and heads eastbound on Northeast 18th Street. At the end of 18th is the abandoned school. She says he jumps the curb and parks behind the school near an old outbuilding.
Oh, whoops. Hang on.
She states that he then gets out of the car, opens her door, and tells her to step out. He directs her to pull her pants down and bend over. She does as he instructs her. He then allegedly vaginally rapes her for about 10 minutes. He does not speak, and she does not know whether he wore a condom or if he ejaculated.
Okay. She said when he was done, he told her, "Have a nice night," and got back in the car. He then drove away through the schoolyard, leaving her standing there. She walked between two of the buildings and headed straight back to her house.
When she arrived at home, she told her boyfriend, Terry Mack, that she had just been raped by a black Oklahoma City police officer. Mr. Mack told her to report the crime and have a SANE exam done, but Sherri refused. When Mr. Mack became suspicious, she admitted that she had also had sex with someone else that day.
Mr. Mack said that the SANE exam would do no good because there would be, oh, you're so kind, mixed DNA. She says that she would have two DNAs in her, and they would not be able to identify the officer's DNA. Mr. Mack also stated that because she used to be a prostitute, they would not believe her anyway. She doesn't report the rape, but she told Davis that after that, she was afraid to leave her house after dark, saying that, you know, if she needed anything from the store, she always made sure to get it and be back in the house before dark. She and Mr. Mack broke up because of her infidelity a couple weeks later. She moved out and began living with her new boyfriend, Edwin Smith, in a hotel room.
Davis then used buccal swabs to sample Sherri's DNA. Davis and Gregory then took her to retrace her route and take photographs of the locations of the alleged assaults. They then worked to prove that Daniel was her assailant.
And in the news, August 9th, Michael Brown shot by Darren Wilson after an altercation that happened inside Wilson's car. Wilson reported that Brown looked like a demon. The aftermath, Wilson was not indicted by a grand jury. He resigned from the Ferguson police force. The family greatly wanted to have the killer of their unarmed son held accountable. They really would look at every legal avenue, said Brown's family lawyer, Benjamin Crump, on the case.
Yeah, don't forget, if you don't already know who Benjamin Crump is, he seems to appear out of nowhere when there's a, God, I don't know how to say it, a crime committed.
Well, that's cool most of the time, don't you think? But
it is.
He would be smart enough to look at the facts of a case before he put his name on it. But it seems as though that because of what was happened, because of the racial tensions of the time and just how emotional everything was, that he reacted to emotion. And
right. I mean, we know he was part of Trayvon Martin's situation, death, and rightly so. And of course, Michael Brown and Eric Garner, Jacob Black, and most recently Jacob Black and George Floyd. I mean, so I guess it sounds like I'm just bitter because, this great attorney, a civil rights attorney, pounced on my guy, our guy. But it's you know, it's frustrating. It's really frustrating.
Well, when he's so clearly innocent, when the investigation was so clearly not an investigation at all,
Right.
then he shouldn't be putting his name on it.
Yeah.
It's just
A defense attorney that I know well had access to a webinar or I don't know, I guess a Zoom meeting recently, and Benjamin Crump had had displayed a partial curriculum vitae, if you like, and he listed part of his successes as being a successful civil rights attorney, or a civil rights attorney involved in the Daniel Holtzclaw case, and my blood boiled when that was shared with me. If anybody wants to share more information about that situation, they're more than welcome to. I'm not trying to call people out, but when I saw that, screenshot was shared with me and I lost my shit. I was like, are you kidding me? So anyway, but yeah. Anyway, so next slide.
When was Ahmed Aubrey? When was that, Alice? If you'll just type it in the chat there.
Seems like it might have been March, but I don't, that's just a guess.
Okay.
That's what comes to mind.
This timeline's just kind of evolving. It just occurred to us, instead of just listing all of them on a slide, to insert them into the timeline where they belong. I think it is more impactful. It really.
Hopefully it helps those, especially those who aren't familiar with the case. Hopefully it is helpful to see, not just the events in this case, but how the events around that were going on around this time definitely played, a part. So, okay.
Do you want me to read this one?
Sure, go ahead.
In the news on August 11th, Ezell Ford, a 25-year-old African-American man, died from multiple gunshot wounds after being shot by Los Angeles Police Department. Officers in Florence, Los Angeles, California, in the weeks and months that followed, Ford's shooting triggered multiple demonstrations and a lawsuit by Ford's family claiming $75 million in damages.
Wow.
In the news, Dante Parker, 36, in California. Police responded to a call about an attempted break-in. The suspect fled on a bicycle. Police found Parker nearby riding his bicycle. Any black man on a bicycle will do. He was unarmed. He resisted arrest, and a struggle ensued. Police tasered him, I think, like 15 times, if I remember correctly, and he died. It's disgusting, man.
It's disgusting.
Back in July 2014, Rocky Gregory had discovered that Daniel had run Sherri Ellis through Verona database 4 times on May 7th and May 8th. This fact meant that Daniel may have had contact with Sherri within the 3 to 4 month timeline that Sherri had estimated. Kim Davis requested copies of Daniel's AVL printout for the dates he had run Sherri through the Verona database. On August 13th, she receives a printout from Joe Hill. The AVL printout appears to match the approximate date, time, locations, and route Sherri described.
But
August 13th, 2014. According to Daniel's AVL, which is the GPS in his patrol car, he was parked on whatever's under this S. I can't see the street. Highland Drive. That's going to be North Highland.
North Highland Drive, yeah.
Northeast 17th Street and Northeast 18th for approximately 15 minutes. from 12:58 a.m. to about 1:13 on the morning of May 8th. Oh, okay. There you go. That refreshes my brain about the 2/7 dates and the 2/8 dates. It is all right there within 2 days, but in his same shift.
In his same shift, right?
That's less incriminating for the people who think those things are incriminating.
Yeah.
At 1:13 a.m., his patrol cars recorded heading eastbound on 18th, approaching the dead end. There's a 4-minute gap in the AVL pings. At 1:18, his vehicle reappears and is next recorded driving northbound on Miramar. Miramar is a north-south street which runs along the east side of the school property.
Now we're going to discuss some inconsistencies.
Is Sherri, did she drop?
No, I'm here. I forgot to unmute. Inconsistencies. Kim Davis said to Sherri during the interview, "I know what officer did this to you." Detective Davis has already determined that it must be Daniel Holtzclaw, but they don't present her with a photo lineup. Ellis never names her attacker, and Sherri said her attacker was black and drove the older model patrol car.
No photo lineups of Oklahoma City police vehicles were shown. She's already indicated her attacker was driving the more common older black and white patrol car, and they know Holtzclaw was driving the more rare all-black model.
At trial, Detective Davis gives a very incriminating reason for why she thinks Holtzclaw was running Ellis through the computer database multiple times. From page 3078 of the jury trial transcript, Prosecutor Galen Giger, "Is it significant to you that as a detective, why a police officer would run somebody through Verona without coming into contact with them as a patrol officer to try to like the normal reasons for it?" Detective Davis, "Yes." Giger, "What's significant about it to you as a detective in this case?" "He's looking to see who made a report or if she made a report."
But police reports, again, against other officers are not treated the same as police reports against citizens. If they were, then every officer would be tipped off about internal affairs investigations. Instead, the reports incriminating police officers are kept extremely confidential. Those reports often only exist as super secret special investigations database known only by the code name Orion. And access to Orion is extremely controlled and limited. Holtzclaw nor any other patrol officer would ever have access to that Orion database.
Which is what that is saying is that Kim Davis's outrageous lie under oath about that he was trying to look and see if anybody had made a report against him is just a flat out lie, and she knows that. She's stupid. We might think she's stupid, and she might be stupid, but she's not that stupid. She knows.
In reality, Holtzclaw often ran known criminals and suspects through the police database looking for intel as to what was going on in the areas he patrolled.
Terry Mack Sr., Sherri Ellis's boyfriend, and Edwin Smith's statements are consistent with Sherri's story. For one, Edwin claims that Sherri was assaulted, not walking from the house that she shares with Terry Mack, but while walking to her cousin's from his house after they had had sex. Sherri says her cousin only lives 4 blocks from Terry Mack's house. That would have put her initial contact with Holtzclaw very near her cousin's home. However, at trial, Sherri claims that the cousin lives at Highland and Northeast 22nd. That's twice as far at 8 blocks away.
Sherri and Holtzclaw did make contact with each other on North Highland Drive, somewhere between Northeast 17th and Northeast 18th Street. Not just before midnight, like Sherri Ellis claims, but instead just before 1 a.m. Daniel's AVL tells us this as well as his radio call-in.
Wednesday, 2.
Okay, this is dead air. This is other than marking the time like that electronic lady's doing. If you go to 2:55, so here's what's going on. So he calls, he wants to text someone, but he's in line. And it, he's out from what marked that time. So for almost 3 minutes, he's out of the car. 3.5 minutes, he's out of the car. Actually, 4 minutes, he's out of the car. So at 2:55, yeah.
Okay. Just a couple seconds before.
Mm-hmm.
Zero, one, one.
So she says, go ahead.
Wednesday, May 2014, 0102.
That's horrible recording.
Zero.
He's still out of the car, so that's at the second time she's told him to go ahead.
Right.
Dispatch. Remember, Sherri's in the back seat of the car, right?
102 and 40. Wednesday,
I'm thinking that's another car.
Sorry for the dead air. It's just want to make sure you're getting the full effect here.
I'm not sure why that's recording so messed up.
Okay. All right. So that was the end of the radio traffic of the call-in.
This radio call-in is another example, just like with Terry Morris, that patrol car GPS is not needed to establish Holtzclaw has made contact with his accusers. He calls most of them in from his patrol car. He doesn't try to hide the fact that he's made contact with each and every accuser.
This radio traffic uncovers a discrepancy with Sherri's reported sequence of events. She claimed that the officer placed her in his vehicle, then he returned to the driver's seat and radioed in her information. Allegedly, he then looked up her previous prostitution charge that she claimed she saw on his computer. She said he then received a call back from dispatch that she had active city warrants.
Sherri stated that this all took place while the officer sat in the driver's seat of his patrol car. This is all clearly prior to Sherri being allegedly forced to perform oral sex on the officer. It's pretty obvious through the radio traffic I just played that Holtzclaw was out of his patrol car and didn't realize dispatch had 3 times tried to reach him.
At trial, Detective Davis agrees with that assessment. This from page 3104 of the jury trial transcript. Prosecutor Galen Gigger, was that significant to you, ma'am? Kim Davis, yes. Gigger, why? Davis, because he's out of the car. I mean, when you call crime information and your number, you wait until your turn, and when you call it in, and he's gotten out of the car.
What was Holtzclaw doing during this time? We don't know. According to Ellis, what he wasn't doing at that moment was assaulting her or even out of his patrol car. She never suggests that radio dispatch kept calling for the officer and the officer ignored those calls. Yet at trial, Kim Davis tried to insinuate to the jury that this was suspicious and Daniel must have been up to no good. Instead, it should have been a clue that Sherri's story wasn't holding up or at least needed additional clarification.
At trial, Kim Davis made it sound like Daniel used the accuser's warrants to coerce them into performing sex acts for him, but Sherri's warrants were for unpaid city tickets. They were not for felony crimes or any other offense that police policy would have required Daniel to take her to jail. So the fact that he did not take Sherri to jail means nothing at all.
Nothing. No thing.
Nothing.
Not a damn thing. Sherri?
Sherri was sitting in the back seat while Daniel was calling in and waiting for her records to be reported, yet failed to see that Daniel was white, not black. No evidence or exhibits were ever presented at trial that Holtzclaw ever accessed Sherri's previous prostitution arrest and conviction record. Yet not only does Sherri claim that he didn't step out of his car during this time, but that she clearly saw him pull up her prostitution records. Yet somehow she missed the fact that the officer doing all this was not a dark-skinned black man, but instead an officer who was pale white in complexion.
This from page 3116 of the jury trial transcript. Holtzclaw's defense attorney, Scott Adams, and Miss Ellis at this point in time did have some warrants, correct? Detective Kim Davis, yes. Adams, again, they were municipal warrants that aren't of any great significance to the OCPD, correct? Davis, correct. Adams, and would it and it would not be unusual whatsoever for a patrol officer not to take someone in on a warrant such as that, correct? Detective Davis, correct.
At trial, Sherri changes her story to cast Holtzclaw in a more negative light. During her interview with Detective Davis, that she was clear that Holtzclaw only touched her during the search on top of her clothing. Detective Kim Davis: so, did he touch your vagina on the outside of your pants? Ellis: mm-hmm. Davis: did he touch your bottom on the outside of your pants? Ellis: yeah. Davis: okay.
From page 2,985 to 2,986 of the jury trial transcript, Prosecutor Lori McConnell. And tell me about the officer's actions in searching you. Sherri Ellis: when he searched me, he went up under my shirt and was just feeling up underneath my breast with his hands, asked Prosecutor McConnell. Ellis: yes, ma'am. McConnell: and I don't want to embarrass you, Miss Ellis. Were you wearing a bra that day? Ellis: yes, ma'am.
McConnell, did his hands go on the inside of your bra or on the outside? Ellis: in the inside. McConnell, so were his hands touching the skin of your breast at that time? Ellis: yes, ma'am. McConnell, was he saying anything to you whenever he did that? Ellis: no. McConnell, what happened next? Ellis: he started to go downwards in front of he put his hands inside my pants and felt between my legs.
McConnell: okay, and whenever he put his hand inside your pants, are you wearing underwear on that date, Miss Ellis? Ellis: yes, ma'am. McConnell: did his hands go on the inside of your underwear? Ellis: yes, ma'am. McConnell: and what part of your body did they touch, Miss Ellis? Ellis: he touched my vagina.
Jenny Liggins, Terry Morris, and now Sherri all claim Daniel was able to instantaneously expose his erect penis without any forewarning, fidgeting, or delay. We know Holtzclaw wears compression shorts with no fly, a long undershirt, a ballistics vest with a flap that hangs below his groin, and shirt stays that are attached to the top of his socks that held his uniform shirt in place below his groin.
Yet all three accusers up to this point claim their face was only inches away from his groin, and they were never even able to see him reach down and unzip his pants.
Why would Daniel or any other officer force someone to perform very public oral sex on them while parked on a neighborhood street with homes facing in every direction and at that time of night? The presence of his police car would have drawn the attention of anyone outside or looking through the windows. Furthermore, why would he risk being caught at that location if he simply planned to take Ellis to a more remote location just minutes later?
At, at, oh,
At the initial stop on Highland, at no time does Sherri ever say that the officer who attacked her turned on his overhead strobe lights. Yet Detective Davis conveniently uses those strobe lights as an excuse as to why she may have described her attacker as a dark-skinned black male.
this is epic, guys, epic. These are Kim Davis's words when she first met with Sherri. Detective Davis: I have received a tip on, I work in sex crimes, and I've been working some cases, and I received a tip that you may have been sexually assaulted by a police officer. Sherri Ellis: yes, I have.
At trial, Sherri described how Detective Davis approached her differently. From page 2998 of the jury trial transcript, Scott Adams, defense attorney. And when they contacted you, they told you that they were investigating a sexual assault on you by an Oklahoma City police officer, Ellis. No, they didn't say it like that. She said, was there an incident that happened with the police officer, Adams? Did they tell you that they had a tip that you were assaulted by an Oklahoma City police officer, Ellis? I don't recall that.
Ah! If we never hear, I don't recall again. I'm begging Sherri to change her screen name. I can't live with it anymore.
She didn't. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say we were overloaded with I don't recalls from Mark Rohr the other day and Jack's open mic. Oh my God. So I don't recall that is not exclusive to Manitowoc.
Yeah, exactly what. She didn't say Oklahoma City, but she did say police officer.
Yes, she did.
In fact, that statement by Detective Davis isn't even true. She hadn't received a tip at all. Ellis's name simply appeared on an arbitrary list provided to her by Lieutenant Musney, where he listed every Black female Daniel had stopped between January 1st and 2014 and June 18th, 2014. Then he narrowed the list to those who had a criminal history, substance abuse issues, and/or involvement in prostitution.
Kim Davis also apparently told everyone she came into contact with while trying to locate Sherri Ellis, essentially contaminating any chance of getting a truly unrehearsed interview from Sherri. She was disclosing extremely personal information to uninvolved parties, including her ex-boyfriend's son, Terry Mack Jr., and Sherri's friends and family on Facebook. In addition, Janie Liggins had already gone public with her accusation on the evening news. The dissemination of such information was almost certain to have an effect on any accuser's honesty.
Sherri stated that the rape at the park lasted 5 or 10 minutes, but based on the GPS records, after Daniel's car jumped the curb, less than 4 minutes, 3 minutes 49 seconds to be precise, passed until the car was back on the street.
Within that time, he had to park his car, exit his car, check for any witnesses, order Ellis out of the car, and to pull down her pants, then vaginally rape her from behind, then put himself back together, get in his car, and accelerate away.
For the prosecution's theory to be true, Holtzclaw would have had to instantly accelerated to 65 miles per hour to cover that distance and parked before his patrol car was pinged again, at night, off-road, in a park, with multiple obstacles and aided only by one's own headlights. Is that it?
That's it. That
That's
was
it.
the end.
That was the end. So wow, is that God, it's just mind-boggling. Um, I I'm pretty, let me just check something here really quick. Yeah. So let me just show you. I think I have a Google map pulled up. I do. I'm going to share this Google map with you. Because this is going to give you guys, if you're kind of, it's hard to, I don't know about you guys, I'm very visual. So hearing all this stuff is like blah, blah, blah to me in a lot of ways. So I like to play with Google Earth maps quite a bit. And I think I've said it before, Sherri and I, we have like this little thing that we like to do late at night when Kay's in bed being normal. And
Hey, don't tell my life.
I get a crazy wild hair at my rear end about trying to do some stuff on Google because, location with this case, location is such a big deal. Can you guys see the Google map? I'm just running the map. I'm not looking at the screen. I guess I can look and see. Okay, it's showing. So I will kind of point out, and if anybody knows anything about this issue I'm having over here, maybe you can tell me later in Discord or something. But anyway, so this is, let me zoom it back out a little bit. This is the area that we're talking about. And while it might sound like a lot of, I don't know, while it might sound like a lot of area or big area, it really isn't. It's just this little several blocks. So this is where Sherri Ellis currently lived at the time of the alleged assault. Was right here at this little teeny tiny house right here off of Miramar. And I'm going to say these names of a lot of these streets because a lot of the names of these streets are going to repeat themselves over and over and over in this case with different accusers. So she lives right here, just right down the street from Miramar Boulevard on Northeast 16th Terrace, which is different than Northeast 16th Street, which is really stressful for somebody who doesn't live in the area and they're trying to figure stuff out, or at least it was for me. So what Sherri Ellis says is that she left her house that night here on Northeast 16th Terrace, and she heads west towards Highland Drive, which is this street right here. She gets to Highland Drive and she turns right or heads north on Highland Drive. She crosses Northeast 16th Street. And I don't know why, but for whatever reason, Google Earth blocks out this little section. I cannot, to save my life, get a route in there. But at any rate, she crosses 17th Street. And this is no big deal, but it just really bugs me because in the interview, in the in-office face-to-face interview, Kim Davis is just like, she's trying to get a draw this little map, on a piece of paper, and having Sherri Ellis draw it. And Kim Davis is just not getting it. And I don't know, you guys, but it's just a couple of turns. It's out of the house, down the street, down the street. But she says, that Sherri says, she gets up to this block and she crosses this block. And Kim Davis says, and we don't know what that is. Well, it's Northeast 17th Street, Kim. And she goes down to the middle of the block here. And this is where we were talking about the crepe myrtle tree. We are not all fond of this necessarily, but it's kind of interesting to look down at this 2D view and see it. So this is indeed the crepe myrtle tree. And I'm saying I went ahead and made it definitive with my map because it's the exact same picture that Brian Bates has in HoltzclawTrial.com website. And this is the crepe myrtle tree where she was evidently, it sounds like she's saying that the officer drove up going north on North Highland Drive. And she's walking this direction. And he stops her right here. And this is where he allegedly assaults her, or, has her exposing, he's touching her breasts. He searched her, he's touching her breasts, and she's orally copulating him right here in this little area. Granted, it's after midnight, so there's probably not a lot of lights, but there are houses all around here. And given the area that it is, and I'm not trying to be judgmental, it's just a fact, there's a lot of drug users and, stuff like that, people that live in these homes. Not in all of them, but generally speaking. So that's where she gets stopped, and in this first location, and he orally has her orally pleasuring him, giving him a blowjob, really. Let's just be real. At that location for how long was it, Kay or Sherri? A few minutes, couple minutes, 3, 5, 10 minutes. I don't recall what the amount of time was, but
I can't remember either.
Yeah, I don't know that it was ever really stated for sure. So he's like, well, enough of that business. I'm going to take you down somewhere else, and I'm just going to go ahead and have sex with you. So he takes her, gets her in the patrol car, drives her around the corner, literally around that corner to Northeast 18th Street. And this is a little cul-de-sac. Now, this is the park where Sherri Ellis says he jumps the curb, he drives over the curb right here. Now, this is just my own little interpretation of where he must have driven. I mean, when I was trying to draw that, I was like, well, gosh, it's kind of, I mean, it's possible, obviously, but, kind of I don't know, kind of weird that he would, go into this. Now, it's funny because in trial, and I don't know if we went over this in the slides or not, but in trial, and I love the way Brian Bates says it in his podcast, but at trial, they say this is an old abandoned schoolyard. Now, I suppose that it could be, I don't really know anything about the area, and I don't know if that school was actually being used or not. But this is a park here. This is a park, and when I was looking at it today in 2D, these are these are toys that kids play on. You can see in this park. So, I don't know. It just seems weird that, it would be the only thing that they talk about at trial is this abandoned schoolyard, which, according to Ellis, the officer does drive her behind there, and this little tree in between the building here is where he allegedly rapes her in how much time? 4 minutes and 33 seconds, which is possible, entirely possible.
It
But
was 3 minutes that and something that he was off. There was no ping. So
no pinging.
3 minutes
So
and 40 seconds, I think.
okay, so from the time he jumped the little curb here and drove around back here and sexually assaulted her from behind, with all the clothing that he's got to get through and all that stuff, and then getting back in his car and all those things. This is where he allegedly did that. So I just thought, that's the little map that I made. You can go to holtzclawtrial.com in I believe it's episode 8. And I think that I think Catnet's been dropping that link in the chat as well for you, because I still have yet to figure out how to do all the hashtagging and putting the links in my description. So in the meantime, that's what I will be very grateful to Catnet for. But it's just kind of, I don't know. But what I really get a kick out of in Brian Bates's podcast is he says that at trial they keep calling it abandoned schoolyard, and he says something to the effect, and I'm going to paraphrase, but something to the effect that I guess that abandoned schoolyard sounds more rapey than a park. I don't know why I got a kick out of that, but I did. So anyway,
Daniel said that it would be common to check the parks. People would be hanging out in parks, and there's a curfew for parks, so it would be common to ask someone to move along. Not wanting drug activity to go on, over there on the swings.
right where the park is, where even though it's late at night in this situation, it's still it's a
It's past curfew. The parks close at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, so there's no reason for anybody to be there. So
it's not legal to be there after 10.
Right. Okay. Gotcha. So, that's the Google Earth map of the location of what Sherri Ellis's accusation. Now, just Rhonda, am going to say, I believe it's entirely possible that Sherri Ellis was assaulted and raped that night. I believe it's possible. I know that it wasn't done by Daniel, and I know that it wasn't done during the time frame that she says it was, but I have theories about why she would. Well, she doesn't even describe Daniel. First and foremost, she doesn't describe Daniel, but I'll tell you who she does describe. And if you already, unless, I don't know, I'll just kind of take a little poll here first in the chat. Does anybody know who she does describe? You're familiar enough with the case to know somebody, an officer that's been mentioned that she is describing. And Edward Alexander is an exactly
Alexander Edwards.
Alexander Edwards. I'm
too many
dyslexic.
Edwards and
Alexanders and Edwards, and it's too much dyslexic stuff going on. But yes, Alexander Edwards, and he does fit that description. He's shorter than Sherri Ellis would have been, and darker skinned than Sherri Ellis would have been, as she described. And number three, he drove the older Crown Vic, which she said emphatically that the police officer who assaulted her drove that older Crown Vic. So I don't know. It's entirely possible that she was assaulted. Now, it's also, I have a possible theory that, or hypothetical, or whatever it's called, that she wasn't assaulted at all, but she had been having intimate relations with, somebody other than Terry Mack, who was her live-in boyfriend at the time. She had been sleeping with Edwin Smith, who just lived around the corner. And I'll just pull that up and show you too, because I know. He lived, or his mother anyway, lived right here, I believe it was, in this house, is where Edwin Smith's mother lived. Yeah, I believe it was right here in this house that she lived. And she used to go and visit with Mr. Smith over in that area. I could be a little bit wrong. I might be wrong on the blocks on that, but at any rate, it was in this area that she was. She lived here with Terry Mack, but she was having some extracurricular activities with her boyfriend, who was over in this area. So did she go out and have an intimate interaction with Edwin Smith that night, and was running a little late getting back home to Mr. Mack? And she gets back, and I gotta tell him something. I gotta tell him why. Now, the only reason that doesn't work, that theory doesn't work, is that she did end up telling Terry Mack that night, well, I not only did I have sex with you today, but I've also had sex with Edwin Smith today. And so, but in the meantime, this cop has raped me. So did she just tell the story about getting raped by a cop because, even though she had admitted that she was with Edwin Smith that night too, as well, and putting herself on blast with that, but maybe by telling a rape story, it kind of lessens the blow with her current live-in boyfriend, Mr. Mack.
Maybe
But
they all lied.
maybe they all lied. And there
Well, I
was
mean, there were a lot of people, changing their stories and saying, "Yeah, I knew. Yeah, she told me."
right. So unfortunately, the video that I've made is not finished uploading, and that's too bad. I can play that for you just from Bates's website, um, and you can listen to it like that. And you can just hear the audio of it. But
just like I said, I don't want to go into depth here because
hang on one second.
Jordan for maybe 10, 15, 20 address or dad's address or.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and play some of it. I mean, if you want to stick around and listen to it, you can, or you can go and listen to it. My uploader, what's my upload? Oh yeah, it's been a rough day. It has nothing to do with my uploader, Jack. But thank you. I'm the uploader. I'm the problem. So
Rhonda, I put the video in your Discord, in the Discord chat, three-way chat, the video of the interview.
we can play that too. I mean, it's the actual interview. It's the first time I'd seen that. That would actually probably
It's
be
better than audio.
better than just audio, because at least you can see some. Let me just do that really quick. I'll pull that up instead.
While she's doing that, things seem to be getting kind of back to normal as far as people not, no active cases of coronavirus that he knows of. And the weather's been kind of nice enough to be able to get outdoors and work out with some weights a little bit. They still don't have gym privileges back or stuff like that, but they're ordering, like they get to order once a month from a catalog to get, like clothes and shoes, blankets, rugs, stuff like that. So he was looking forward to that this week. And just been chatting about book club chapters 1 and 2. We talked about chapter 1 yesterday, and we'll talk about chapter 2 tomorrow morning. So be ready for book club.
Bookcast tomorrow night. All right, let me see. I couldn't get that to load earlier today when you sent it to me. I'm going to see if it'll play from this. How well it's going to play. Let me see. What am I doing here? Oh, that's us. That's us. I'm such a nerd. Let's see. Now, when I listened to it just from this, let's see. It was really, really hard to hear. I couldn't really hear it very well. Did you have that problem, Kay?
I didn't try to listen to it today. I just shared it.
Okay. Let's see if this is. So I'm going to play it, but it's really hard to hear. I will try to. I'll try to get the volume as loud as I can so that you all can hear it. You can't hear it, can you?
Well, let me turn my volume up.
Can you guys hear that in the chat, though?
No.
Yeah. I don't know why, and I couldn't get it to. Yeah, it was really sad because I couldn't get it to go any louder no matter what I tried or did. Let me try one other little thing here. Yeah, no, it's not me, it's the video quality. I guess what I can do is I got a little trick here. Hang on, everybody. Let's see if my cleverness will work or not.
It's a permanent location. Not really. I can get my mail at my grandma's address, but I don't have her address on me. I don't think. What's your grandma's name? But really, I don't want her. I was going over there to tell her today about what I had to do, and she's old. I really don't want her involved. If this goes to court and we have to mail you a subpoena, where do you want it mailed? You gotta ask him. Okay. You gotta ask him. Okay. All right. Because he got a mom that's been over there almost 20-some years over there where I used to stay on 16th and Terrace. So his mom would stay right around the corner. She's been there for several years. So and you could guess the one. Yeah. Okay. All right. Other than what happened to you, what we're going to talk about today, have you ever been the victim of a crime? Like, have you ever been assaulted? Have you ever been raped? Have you ever been molested as a child? Okay. Now, I know you've been arrested. What? Because you said that you recently got out of prison. What have you been arrested for? I've been arrested for burglary, too. Okay. So I went to the penitentiary for. How much time did you do? I had 3 years in and 2 years out. Okay. I spent 18 months and I got out. Okay. I had been in a predicament when I was in Spencer, assault and battery with a dangerous weapon, but state didn't pick that up. Okay, so it wasn't child. It wasn't filed. No. Okay. As far as that, I have been probably a couple, maybe 10, 15, 20 years. I don't even think it was that long, but it's been a long time. But I got involved with prostitution once, which it really, I don't know why I got caught up in the prostitution because I wasn't but the police was doing a sting and they picked me up. And that was probably back in 2000, something like that.
Okay. What about drugs? Have you used drugs before?
I used to use weed.
Okay. Any recent? What about crack? Are you working right now?
No, I'm going to school
Oh, that's right. You're going to get your GED.
5 days a week.
Where do you go?
OCI.
What's that stand for?
You know where the feds take drug tests and stuff like that? I'm right behind that.
Good for
That
you.
building.
Good for you.
You know, I go 5 days a week, Monday through Friday from 8:15 to 2:45.
Is it hard?
Not really, because I'm focused and ready to do it.
You're ready to get it done.
Yeah, because when I was in the penitentiary, I was trying to get my GED, but I had got out before I could get my GED. So.
Did they charge you? Does it cost?
$25.
Oh, that's not bad. Okay. Are you married? Single?
I'm single.
Have you ever been married?
No. I'm alone. My Terry man.
Any kids?
Yes.
How many
I got
kids?
3.
What are their ages?
20-year-old, 19-year-old, and a 7-year-old.
Do you have custody of the 7-year-old?
No,
Daddy has custody.
no, my cousin.
Did you lose custody when you went to
Yeah,
prison?
that's when I was doing cocaine.
What kind of cocaine?
Crack.
I thought you said you didn't use crack.
No, I said I did coke. Well, I don't do it now.
But you have before.
And before, yeah, but I don't do it now though. When the penitentiary stopped a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it does.
But when she was born, they took her because I had crack in my system.
Oh, she tested positive. Do you have any medical problems?
High blood pressure. I went to Red Rock.
What'd you get a Red Rock for?
I get medication for the severe depression.
What do you take for that?
Prozac. Take Jurdon for calm me down.
Juridon. I haven't heard of that one.
Jurdon.
Because it doesn't exist.
Do you have anxiety?
Yes.
Is that what the Juridon's for? JUR?
Something like that.
Okay. And Prozac.
Yeah.
Do you take medicine for your high blood pressure?
Lisinopril.
What is it?
Lisinopril.
Any other medicines?
Vantac, but that's
just her
heart
acid
burn.
reflux.
That's all.
All right. When I talked to you on the phone, you told me that you thought this happened about 3 months ago.
This is
This is August 5th.
about 3 months or 4 months ago. It would be like March, April.
When you tell me when you think this happened?
About 4 months ago.
About 4 months ago. Where were you in your life at that time? When did you get out of prison?
I got out of penitentiary in July of last year.
Oh, okay. So you've been out. So when about 4 months ago this happened, where were you living then?
I was staying on 16 Terrace.
With who?
With Terry.
With Terry Mack?
Yes. 2258 Northeast 16th and Terrace.
16th Terrace. Yeah. Now, were you off on the dope and stuff then?
Yeah, I was off.
Okay. No, you were off dope then.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What time did you leave his house? Why were you out? What do you see what I'm saying? What were you doing that day?
It was before 12 o'clock.
Before midnight?
I had left my house. I was staying with Terry. I had left my house on my way to my cousin's house.
On foot or in a car?
I was on foot.
Who's your cousin?
My cousin Dion. Her name is Dion Thomas, but she lives up the street, around where I was walking when I was on my way. She stayed like maybe 4 blocks down.
Why were you going over there?
because it's my cousin and my nieces, my nephews. I go over there all the time.
How do you spell Dion?
Don.
Okay. But that's a female.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So when you go, kind of draw me a picture from which way you went and stuff when you were walking. It don't have to be perfect because I can not draw stick people. Yeah.
This is my house.
Okay.
Miramar right here. Well, Miramar. My house right here, but I was going this way from Miramar, going all the way down 16th and Terrace. Okay, the next block the next major block you get to is right here. This is Highland.
Okay. Oh, you're lefty too.
Okay, I went across Highland. Right here is an intersection. That's 16th.
Okay, so you're going back north.
I'm still going down Highland.
Okay.
I crossed 16th, still going down Highland. There's a block. I passed a block. And half a block after that is when I got stopped.
So this is 16th. Did you get to the next street?
Okay, hold on. This is Highland. I went right here. This is 16th.
Okay.
I crossed 16th.
Okay.
Down, still going down Highland.
And before the.
Then there was another block. Okay. I passed 16th. Okay. Kept on going. There was a block. Okay. I passed that. Before I could get to the other block in the middle.
Past 16th. Past next street. We don't know what it is. Before the next street. Okay, what happened? How'd you know a police car was there?
Was walking, and when I turned around, he was, I guess he had come from behind me because I wasn't.
You didn't see him
I
driving.
wasn't paying attention to the back of me. I was just walking.
Okay.
So I'm walking, and then next thing I know, lights behind me.
Like car lights or
his lights.
Just headlights.
Yeah.
Okay.
Behind me, and then he pulled up, and that's when I realized that it was police.
Because you turned around?
I turned around. Yeah, I turned around. That's when I found out it was a police.
Now, were his overhead lights on or anything? You just saw that it was a police car.
Yeah, because he pulled up behind me.
Okay.
Like,
and what?
He asked me to stop.
Was he in the car when he asked that, or was he out of the
He pulled over and got out.
He got out
and to ask me what was my name, and I told him, and he said, "Well, can you come back here with me? Come back here for a second, talk to him." So I was by the police car.
On the driver's side or the passenger side?
On his driver's side. And he asked me my name, like I said, and then I had my purse, and he asked me if I had anything illegal in my purse, and I said no, which I didn't. So he's like, "Well, will it be all right if I check you to see if you have anything illegal on you?" And I'm like, "No," but I wasn't thinking I don't think a man's supposed to do that anymore.
Did you say no? Or did you say no, I don't have any? I said no, I don't care.
Oh, you said no. Okay. Okay. So you said no, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I didn't know if you were saying no, I don't care, or no, you can't check me.
No.
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
And then he said turn around, and I had my arms out, and he checked me. And
were your hands on the car, or were you just standing like
I was standing like this,
kind of like a scarecrow? Okay.
And
what did he do when he checked you?
He checked me, and then he checked me all like that. And
did he touch your boobs like that?
Yeah. And then he went between my legs and did that.
Did what?
Like that. Did between my legs.
Just like that? So did he touch your vagina on the outside of your pants?
Mm-hmm.
Did he touch your bottom on the outside of your pants?
Yeah.
Okay.
And He said, have a seat. So, and that by the time he had opened the back of the police car door, he told me to have a seat there. And I don't know. I think I gave him my ID because I have my ID. So he ran my ID.
Did he shut the door when you got in the car? Are you sitting in the back of the car with the door shut? Okay. Just relax. If I go too fast, you tell me I'm going too fast.
Yes. Okay. He shut the door while I was in the back of the police car. Okay. He got back in the front seat. And he started typing in his computer my name. Okay. And radio, and then I guess after a minute they called back and said that I had city warrants. Okay. But while I was in the back seat, I'm looking at him pulling my information and stuff up. Mm-hmm. So everything that I've ever did is gonna be on the computer, so I see this. Okay. My prostitution charge was way back then.
Did you see that?
Yes, I see.
You saw where it said prostitute? I didn't know if you could see the computer.
Oh yeah, in the back of the police car. But after a minute, they called. They hollered back at him and said she has warrants, city warrants, from McAllister, which I have warrants, city warrants from McAllister for tickets. And he got out the car, opened the door where I was at, and he said, "Well, what do you think we need to do about this?" I said, "What do you mean? What do we need to do about this?" He said, "Well, what do you think we need to do about this situation? What do you think we need to do?" And I was like, "What do you think? What do you mean? What do we need to do about it? Am I going to jail, or am I not going to jail, or are you taking me to jail? I mean, I don't know what you mean about what we gonna do about this." So before I know it, he had pulled his thing out.
Did you even see him do that, or was it just there?
It was there. And it was just right. I'm sitting down in the back seat, and it's like right there.
Was it hard?
He asked me. He told me this is what he want me to do.
What did he say? This is what I want you to do, or did he tell you what to do?
Yeah.
What were his words?
He said, "Put this in your mouth." He's practically just said, "Here it is, put it in your mouth," or you know what I'm saying, here. Okay, and then I did that for 3, maybe 4 minutes or something. Okay. And then he said, "Get back, put your feet back in."
So were you turned sideways where your feet were on the street?
Yeah. And he said, "Get back in." And he closed the door, and he got in the police car and drove off and hit the corner.
Point on here for me.
Okay, this block right here there by that time.
I'm catching up with you.
Yeah. This is where he got stopped. Right here. This is the block that I didn't get to.
Okay.
Okay. This block he went and drove. He hit this block, mm-hmm. And then he went to the right. Mm-hmm. There's a park where the old school was. It's an old school over there. There's a park behind the school. And he drove over the curb.
He drove over the curb.
He drove over the curb going into the playground. It's a big old field. Playground, big old field. It's a couple of buildings there. And he drove, and then he went around this other one building. And he parked. And he told me to get out. And
Is that school still a school or is it vacant?
That's a vacant school. It's off of Miramar. Yeah. Miramar and Highland, it's in between. He know what the school, because his mama stayed there. He probably went to school there.
The guy that works
He probably know exactly
what's
what
his name?
And
Okay. So he told you to get out.
he told me,
Did he open the door
yeah.
for you? Then what happened after you stood up?
He told me to pull my pants down.
What'd you say or do?
I didn't say nothing to him.
Okay, that's fine. That's okay. Did you pull your pants down?
Yep.
And then what?
Then he had sex.
Well, what position are you in?
Bent over. From the behind.
Were you still at the car or?
Yeah, well, I bent over by the car. He opened the door, I got out, and I bent over.
Did he tell you to bend over?
Yeah.
Or how did he?
He told me to bend over.
So he said, pull your pants down.
And bend over.
And bend over?
Yes. And I was facing the car.
Were any part of your body touching the car while you were bent over? I mean, were you kind of leaning on it or no?
I might have been leaning on it.
Okay.
I tried to put this behind.
I know. You want me to go get you some Kleenex? Tissue. It sucks. I know, it's hard to talk about. Just take your time. If you want something to drink, tell me, I'll go get you something.
I think,
If you don't know, you don't know. And tell me, I don't remember. It's okay not to remember. It's okay. We're just going to put that. I didn't know if he took you to the merry-go-round or the teeter-totter or, you know. Okay.
Again,
Let me ask you some yucky questions. You said he did it. Did he put it in your vagina or your bottom?
he put it in my vagina.
What, did he have problems keeping it erect or anything? Did he wear a condom?
I don't even know.
Did he come?
I don't even know.
Okay. Did he say anything while he was having sex with you? He didn't say a word.
No.
How long do you think that lasted?
10 minutes.
What do you think made him stop?
I guess.
Did he just stop? What happened after he stopped?
He said, have a nice night. And they walk away.
He walked away or you did?
He said, have a nice night and let me walk.
Okay. Where'd you go?
I went back to the house.
And is that when you told Terry? What did he say?
He told me I should go and turn him in. And he said that since he did that to me, he probably has DNA and stuff on me, but I have been messing with him.
You didn't want to tell Terry that?
Yeah, but I did. I told him. That's when hell broke loose because I had to tell him that I had sex before that happened to me. So, like I said, me and Terry.
Is that what caused y'all to break up?
Me and Terry had been through going through some things for a minute, but I like I said, had been with Terry before I got with him. I had been with Terry for 13, almost a long time. Me and Terry has been together since I was 20 years old, so that's kind of hard for me now. I'm dealing with that situation. Me and him breaking up 2 months ago, maybe 2.5 months now. I ain't been with Terry, but I still keep in contact with him. He's the one that gave me the number that she was looking for me and stuff. And asked and told me, you know what I'm saying, everything will be all right. Just, you know, he figured it was going to be something. But yeah, I went and told Terry, and he said, well, it wouldn't be no good for you to go to the hospital having 2 DNAs in you because you have to answer questions. And I said, well, okay. And then I thought about like this. It's the police. If I say something, I'll be harassed for the whole duration. I don't want to have to walk down the street. I don't have to want to, every time I look around, somebody harassed me over something because of what I did. Because I don't know nothing. I didn't know. I really didn't know what to do. Really, because it's the police. It's the first thing. This is the first thing that has ever happened to me like that. So it kind of messed me up a little bit. But
well, sure, because the police aren't supposed to do that. And then who do you tell the police? Who are they going to believe?
like I said, what I'm saying is true, and if I have to, I take a lot of tests. I just
Sherri, I believe you. If I didn't believe you, I wouldn't have been calling you, trying to find you. Do you know anybody by the name of Terry Morris? Female.
The point about it is, I have a lot of associates. I really don't.
That you don't know that you know. That's okay. Off the top of your head, do you know anybody by the name of Terry Morris?
Kind of, the name sounds familiar, but
what about Janie Liggins?
I don't know them by name.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
That's how I don't know how somebody would know my name.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Tell me your description of him.
Black.
Okay. Black male.
Muscular.
Muscular. How tall could you tell? You're pretty tall. How tall are you? How tall are you?
5'11".
Is he taller than you or shorter than you?
Like right here, maybe like that.
So you think he's shorter than you?
Yeah.
Okay. Did he have any facial hair? You can sit down. If you don't know, you don't know. Glasses? No glasses. And when you say he's muscular, how much would you like? Big muscular? Or?
Yeah, like work out. Like he wasn't fat, but like he worked out.
Did you see his penis? Did you pay attention? You know, like when it was right in your face?
Yeah, it's long.
Was it circumcised? Could you tell? It was? Mm-hmm. Could you see any pubic hair?
No, he unzipped it from his pants.
Okay.
He didn't take belts and all that off or nothing like that.
He didn't take his gun belt off or anything? Did he threaten you in any way of if you tell? Nothing. What kind of car did he have?
A black and white one.
Black and white car?
Oklahoma City police car.
Have you seen him since then?
I try not to, ma'am. After that happened, after nightfall, I'm in the house. I don't walk around. I wasn't trying to see him anymore. I just took myself in after a certain time of the day. I go in the house.
Yeah.
If I don't have my stuff from the store by that time, I'm not trying to go to the store.
Because you're afraid he might find you again.
I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know if it was going to happen. I don't want it to happen again. I didn't know. Because he had to be patrolling the east side like that for him to just be like that. Because I don't know. I don't know why I just stopped walking at night.
Would you recognize him if you saw him again? Like if I laid out 6 pictures, could you pick him out? Did you ever look at his name tag?
Oh, I didn't look at anything.
How come? and I'm not questioning. I'm trying to figure out what's going through your mind.
I don't know. I just did.
That's fine. That's fine.
That's what everybody else has. Because like I said, I tried to put this in the back of my mind because I didn't believe it. I didn't say nothing, and I just thought it would go away.
And then I called you.
Yeah.
Did you have any idea when you found out I was looking for you?
At first, no. And then Terry said just something dealing with sexual. And I said, well, that's the only thing it could be. Somebody gonna say something, said something about my name or something like that. Because I know I didn't say nothing. So that's the only thing, because I pay my fines. So I won't go back to the penitentiary. And my tickets, I still ain't took care of them.
I'm not worried about that.
Okay, but I still ain't took care of them.
That's fine.
But until I get to where I can, in the motel room, paying $200 every week is kind of killing me right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to school, and I have to struggle for that $200. So the fines right now, when I was supposed to went to court, I was in the penitentiary. So
are they Oklahoma City fines or the McAllister fines?
They Oklahoma City fines. I got Oklahoma City fines.
Okay.
But if I do go to jail, I was in the penitentiary. So
they went to warrant because you weren't in court.
Yeah, but I was in the penitentiary.
Right.
So how could I go to court if I was in the penitentiary? So that'll help me out a little bit, and then I can get a payment plan. Maybe I can go from there with the fines. As far as the county, I don't have no felony warrants or nothing like that. I've been doing real good as far as that.
Well, let me tell you this. I want to get a DNA sample from you today. And the reason I want to get a DNA sample is because I know what officer did this to you. Okay? And there is some unknown female DNA on his pants that I took. And I want to see if it's yours.
This happened 4 months ago. To me.
I know, but you never know. He might be nasty and not wash his clothes. You know? Do you have a problem with that? This is a waiver saying that you are going to let me, Kim Davis, and I'm a detective, and this is where we're located, are going to let me take buccal swabs. It's just Q-tips on the inside of your mouth to get a DNA sample so I can compare it to the DNA on his pants. Okay? Sign right here. Especially for a lefty, usually we're kind of sloppy. I'm going to do 2 on one side and then 2 on the other side, okay?
I was asking my friend, I was like, all this is coming down. Am I going to do it? Should I be scared to move around and have to worry about him getting something happening to me? And
Sherri, he's not in a police car anymore. Okay? He's not working anymore. You can walk down the street, he's not out there. Okay?
they said after this is all over, I'll have closure. I sure hope so.
Who said that?
My friends
I'll talk to you a little bit about that.
telling me it's getting it off my chest.
I'm going to give you my card. I'm going to offer you free counseling if you want it. And I'll do whatever I can to help you get closure. Okay? Do you have any questions? I'm going to go, the lieutenant that brought you up here, let me go talk to him real quick and make sure that he doesn't have any more questions.
Okay,
well,
I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
Like I said, I've been having a rough time right now.
Because of this, or just
Just because
financially, or
yeah. Okay. So I've been paying my fine every month, but this month I'm gonna be a little late. Do you think they're gonna issue a warrant for my arrest?
on which fine? On the traffic tickets?
My fines that I have to pay, that I've been paying $50 every
Court fines or whatever. Or is it
after I went to the
restitution? Do you know what your fines are for?
I have to pay $50 every month. I'm on probation. After I got out of the penitentiary, I've been paying $50 ever since I got out in July. I've been paying $50. This is the first month.
Who's your probation officer?
I have a probation officer.
Is it through Oklahoma County?
Yeah.
Let me, because they're closed. I will call and find out what we can do.
Okay. Maybe if I can just come up with like maybe $20 or something.
I'll call and find out what we can do.
Okay, just let me know, and I'll try to come up with it, but I'm late because I usually send it off on the 3rd. This is the 5th, and I'm worried about that right now because I have to figure out if I can go to my grandma, my mama, my Amy, or somebody. Somebody got to help me because right now.
Okay, I'll get an answer for you. Would you be willing to drive me to the area where I want to know where he pulled his car?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, stay here for just a minute.
You want to go right now?
Mm-hmm. But hang out. Let me make sure nobody else has any questions.
Okay. I just have to let my friend follow us because
that's
like I said, he stay right around the corner.
Okay, hang on just a second. I'm gonna leave the door open so you kind of don't get claustrophobic.
Okay.
At this point, Detective Davis steps out of the room for approximately 2 minutes and 50 seconds.
One more question. When you described him as a black male, what, and I don't know, everybody's like, what are you? Are you a medium color? What's your skin tone to you?
I'm light.
You're light. Okay, what was he?
He's darker.
He's darker than you? Darker than your skin tone? Okay. So you're comfortable because I know you're nervous wreck. What if you go with Ed and we follow you to, didn't you say he lives right around the corner? And then we'll follow you there. Then you get in our car, show us where the officer picked you up, and then show us at the school, and then we'll drop you back off at Ed's. You comfortable doing that? Are y'all parked right in front of the building?
I'm on the side right there.
Okay. Let me get you with Ed. Okay. And let me get our stuff so we don't.
That's my support. That's my support.
Turn right. I think he's over here.
Immediately following this meeting, Detectives Davis and Gregory took Sherri Ellis in their car to retrace Ellis and Holtzclaw's route. According to police records, Detective Gregory took 35 photos during this time. That said, much like when Terry Morris was also taken to point out alleged crime scene locations, neither detectives bothered to audio record what must have been in-depth conversations about their allegations. A few days later, the investigators received copies of Daniel Holtzclaw's patrol car AVL and radio dispatch history from his May 7, 2014 encounter with Ellis. And like Ellis's description of her attacker, a quote, short black man, unquote, Holtzclaw's AVL reveals problems with Ellis's allegations that detectives are apparently far too eager to dismiss. I've posted copies of the police reports from this episode, Sherri Ellis's telephone conversation with Detective Davis, her audio and video recorded in-person meeting with Davis, and a copy of the photos taken at this episode's homepage at holtzclawtrial.com. In the next episode, I will be discussing additional information received by investigators, courtroom testimony, and my take on what may have actually taken place during the early morning hours of May 7, 2014.
So, There you go. That's can everybody hear me? It's been a weird night. It's been a weird broadcast tonight. Um, so Kay had mentioned something. Kay, do you want to? You had put something in our little chat thing here. Do you want to? You want to go ahead and say, tell them what you put in our little chat?
No.
Oh, okay.
You mean my smart aleck comment?
Not that one. No, no, no.
Oh, I
Oh
already
no, it was
forgot.
Cherie that did it, not me.
Oh
It wasn't you.
gosh, thanks a lot. You made me think I was losing my freaking mind.
Well, you are, but Cherie, do you wanna tell them what you're muted just in case you do want to say it? Or I can just read what you told me. So basically, I had go ahead, Cherie.
I was telling Rhonda that I forgot to put Alex Edwards in the inconsistencies section. So I was glad she mentioned that. According to Bates, he was on duty that night with the older style police car.
So that's huge. That Bates tells us that Alexander Edwards was on duty the night that Sherri Ellis was assaulted, alleges that she was assaulted by a black, shorter than her, darker skinned than her, Oklahoma City police officer, and he was driving the older style Crown Vic. So you want to put those two side by side, and then you can try to determine for yourself whether or not Daniel is a better match to that description or Alexander Edwards is a better match to that description. I know what we think. I think, and I hope that our viewers that are at least the ones that are in this chat right now, I think I know what you think. But I also encourage everybody to have their own opinion, make their own opinions about things. So um, that was a long one. I think there was a lot of information that we shared with you. Maybe too much information, I don't know, but hopefully you have a better understanding of the Sherri Ellis accusation and how it all went down, how it happened. I just feel really compelled to mention the last little few minutes there that Miss Ellis is mentioning her fines that she's laid on, and Kim Davis is all too eager to let her know, let me find out what I can do about that. And
Hey, I looked that up once, and she's not being truthful exactly about this is the first time she's missed and actually when her payment is due. That wasn't a true story. Imagine that.
oh, you mean that was a fib? I
Yeah,
think I saw
you can
what you were
track her
talking about.
payment. You can track her payments on oscn.net. You can see where she had the lapse.
I think I viewed that myself before and saw that as well. I think it's been a long time ago, but I think I remember looking at that myself. If one of the mods can put that, I'm sorry, I need to be better at getting you guys links to. I'm asking you guys to drop links in the chat all the time, but yet I don't have them ready for you, and I apologize. But it's the oscn.net. Is that correct, Kay?
Mm-hmm. That's
Yeah.
it.
So oscn.net. I'll just go ahead and type it in here. OSCN. I think I can do it. .net if I'm not completely chattered at this point. So I really appreciate all of you guys sticking around for this 2 hour long episode. There's just so much information. It's really frustrating that these cases were all tried together because these are really 13 separate cases, and it's very difficult to try to I'm going to make some excuses for myself here. It's very difficult to try to put together a podcast or a presentation when we are talking about 13 different cases and 13 different women, because they all are to one degree or another intertwined. And I wanted to kind of draw your attention back a while back in the presentation when Sherri Ellis, when Kim Davis asks her if she knows Terry Morris, and then she asks her if she knows, thank you, Sherri, if she knows Janie Liggins. And, Sherri Ellis is like, oh man, I don't know. I have so many associates and we don't go by our names. And she didn't say those words, but the words that she did say, and I don't recall exactly what they are right now, but the words that she did say meant that. And that's not me just, making that up for myself, but it's what she said. I have so many different associates, and they don't call me by my name, or I don't call them, we don't call each other by our names. And you can go back and listen to it if you want, if you want to just double check me on that, because it's what she says. And there's not a lot of information that I know of right now about Sherri Ellis being like deeply entrenched in that lifestyle, like we know with some of the others, and some that are coming in the future. You'll find that some of them are just, there's just the lifestyles that they have, the locations that we'll share with you as time comes with each case. There's just no way that they don't know of each other. Now, Sherri Ellis doesn't necessarily fit into that I've been able to find at this point. I don't, we're still researching, we're still digging, and we're still dissecting these reports. And believe me when I tell you that we're still finding little nuggets of lies and what is the word, I'm misconceptive, misleading, intentional misleading of people. And so it's incredibly wild. And we've only gotten to the third accuser. So 10 more. Can you guys stand us for that much longer? We sure hope so. Whether you can or not, we're still going to keep doing it. Um, we have a lot of fight left in us, and hopefully everyone that's in the chat with us tonight has as much fight as we do. And if you don't, hopefully you can get it. Keep coming back, keep watching the podcast, and maybe you'll get the fight as well. That being said, we kind of started discussing this, Sherri and Kay and I, just before we went live. And actually, I cut us off and started the countdown while we were talking about it. But we're really busy with some stuff. And so, we're going to take a few weeks off from doing the accuser's timeline. We will still do the book club with bookcast is what I'm calling it, with Daniel reading the Death and Justice book. We're going to continue doing that. And, if we find an afternoon or an evening when we're like, can take a breath from, whatever else it is that we have to do, then we might just pop on for a random, chit chat with everybody, with all of you guys, and do not to copy Jack, but in any way, shape, or form, but maybe just do an open mic kind of thing, just randomly at some point. So that being said, we'll do our book cast this week. I think we'll do it on Thursday evening. Wednesday's impossible. I can't possibly do this on Tuesday and then just turn around and get another one ready for Wednesday. But so I just want to let you know that that's what the plan is. We're taking a break from doing the timeline podcast for a few weeks, but we're not going to be going anywhere. We're still going to be here doing other things, just not things that require so much intense work and research and whatnot to get it put together. Believe it or not, those of you in the chat or just who might watch this later, if you're if you've ever been a YouTube creator or ever done your own podcasts or things like that, it's not always as easy as just jumping up on, going live on StreamYard and getting up here and, sharing thoughts and opinions or whatever. Some channels are like that. Mine is not. it's really important to me to make sure that we're giving you guys as much factual, true information, not what others, what we've heard on the news, or what others heard on the news, or what we read because we already know where Daniel's case is concerned, where most of these cases are concerned. That is not what is factual, and that is not what is true. And so it's so important to me to make sure that we're doing that for you guys. We're trying to do that for you guys. We can't do it all, but what we can do is give you enough, dangle enough carrots, or give you guys enough information that you want to reach out to us in Discord even, and get as much information as you can so that you can share factual, true, resourced, citable, well-researched information as well, when you're spreading the word about Daniel's case. I think we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Looks like Kay's already going to take off. Kay, before you leave, is there anything you'd like to say before we check out of here? Or if you didn't already leave, unless you already left.
No,
Okay.
Thanks for hanging out, guys.
Yep. Thank you very much. Sherri, anything you'd like to add before we take off for this episode?
Well, thanks everybody for watching, and keep following Daniel's case, please.
Yep, don't give up. Until next time, we'll come back in a few weeks with continuing the timeline. We'll see you Thursday night for Bookcast with Daniel. Until then, peace out.